Hello, welcome to Ra-El Bull. I'm a professional astrologer and holistic wellness practitioner. Thanks so much for choosing to spend these minutes of your time with me today. This is the monthly general astrology overview for September 2024. I'm your host and guide, Ifeymerael. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. I'm really thankful for your thoughtful support. The month of September follows July's strongly uplifting, spiritually activating lunar and mental energies, and August's smoking brake pad dramas with 5 planets in retrograde motion. Fortunately, August began and ended nicely for most people, despite some very challenging internal conflicts and unfinished business, with Venus making beautiful angles to both Pluto and Uranus. In September, our recently blessed Uranus steps into Mercury's former post as one of 5 planets in retrograde. So the revisitations, reviews, reappearances, and so on are still very active. He squares Mercury on the 6th and trines the Sun on the 19th. We have another 7 squares in September, 3 mutable ones, 3 cardinal squares, and 1 fixed square. Rahu, the lunar north node, gets lots of action this month with oppositions from Venus, Lilith, the Sun, and Mercury, as well as a mid-month square from Mars. In addition to those 4 north node oppositions, we have other planets staring each other down, all of them, in fact, except for Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto. And those planets, as I said, are involved in squares this month. So what's the good news for September? Well, I see 4 big positives. First, nearly all the squares have high potential for positively leveraging their energies. Scorching sunlight can be transformed into positive solar energy. Lemons can make lemonade. That's the upside. These are high potential energy sets. Second, Uranus, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, and Pluto are all making some wonderful music together this month. This is big sky god community innovation, mental and transformational harmony. Third, we have a truly magical, intensely spiritual, ultra manifestor occurrence with a double 17 Piscean super full moon lunar eclipse mid-month. Last, direct Mercury rises into his power in his home sign Virgo, and we have a nearly 8-hour Mercury Cazimi. This month, we'll break the discussion down in 4 sections, and the video will be divided into 2 parts. Part 1 covers the Virgo new moon and first half of September. Part 2 covers the very rare Piscean full moon and a very active second half September. So open your birth chart if you have one, strap on your astro helmet, and calibrate your sovereign divinity thrusters. This month is a big solar Virgo recharge. Section 1, the Virgo new moon. On September 2nd at 6:55 p.m., we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees 3 minutes. This new moon is accompanied a little more than 2 hours later by one of our mutable squares. Mars squares Neptune 9:09 p.m. That's at 29 degrees Gemini Pisces. This follows in the immediate wake of 2 events: Pluto's exiting Aquarius and his brief and final visit into Capricorn for some 230 plus years, and Uranus stationing retrograde. That occurs at 8:18 a.m., 27 degrees of Taurus, as he starts his return trip to his conjunction with fixed star Algol, exact on October 15. New moons are occasions for releases, resets, new beginnings, and initiations. The moon's intuitive, emotive, and psychic capacities in the sign of Virgo resonate strongly with compassion, service, planning, and care for self and others more broadly. Virgo governs our daily routines, our employment, diet, nutrition, and fitness. With Pluto ingressing Capricorn, Uranus charging up Taurus, and Venus, Taurus ruler, having trined both those planets and completed our Virgo transit in the prior 7 days, there's abundant, beneficent Earth energy at our disposal around the time of this new moon. The net result here is that this is a tremendously powerful new moon for positive new starts in our routines, especially with respect to service to others and or the Mercury ruled faculties, thought, communication, analysis, organization, planning, strategy, and so on. But a caveat. On this day, the 2nd of September, Mars squares Neptune around the 29th degree of Gemini Pisces. This aspect tells us to beware of the juns and shuns, delusion, illusion, confusion, deception, fantastications, confabulations, disorientations. Mars in mental Gemini can radically stimulate these conditions and or generate brain fog, disorientation, fatigue, and sleeplessness. Our dream lives are likely to be strongly activated around the time of this new moon. Because this is a harsh aspect, we could have diametrically opposite experiences: oversleeping or overactive mental bodies like monkey brain, paranoia, derangements, and fantasies that generate anxiety and stress. We'll receive some support from this mutable square because Pluto is now within a 1 degree orb of his sextile to Neptune, and Gemini Jupiter is within a 4 degree orb of his applying sextile with Chiron. If you find yourself plagued with Mars Neptune itis, look to the houses Pluto, Chiron, and Neptune are occupying. You may discover some keys there that can unlock relief. Also, bear in mind that mutable energy is highly liquid, fluid, malleable, and amorphous. Its instability and inherent dynamism generates and promotes dissolution, disappearance, and dislocation. All of that means it can be worked with, steered, transformed, alchemized, and often eradicated. Section 2, first half of September. We've already discussed Pluto and Uranus activity on the 1st, as well as the Mars-Neptune square on the day of the Virgo new moon. The following 2 weeks, the run-up to the very impactful high-energy Pisces full moon lunar eclipse, are astrologically busy. This is another jostle of energies, many of which are clashy, but some of which are quite beneficent and fortunate. We have a cluster of high potential set aspects during this period. This is a theme for September, as I said. On the 4th, Mars enters Cancer, and Venus makes 2 transits. She opposes the North Node, and she conjuncts Lilith. Mars in Cancer is something of a wet blanket thrown on our self-will and ambition, assertion, passion, and drive. He struggles here, but Cancer's protection and nurturance capacities are sources of wisdom for us as they impact upon the Mars qualities. Additionally, we can use Mars' verve and potencies to advance our Cancerian instincts and affairs: the home, protection, security, our family, and our ancestry. This is Mars' high potential quality set for his Cancer transit. Venus linking up with Lilith can be a highly positive alliance. Venus is in her home sign of Libra, which speaks to justice, fairness, and life balance broadly. Lilith is many things: rebel, outcast, independent spirit, artist, witch, warrior, and protectress. Venusian powers of love, beauty, and wealth can synergize in remarkably creative and spiritually powerful ways on this day and a few days on either side. Because this is a conjunction, however, be mindful Lilith's shadow attributes don't overpower your affairs. This can mean victimization scenarios, grievances, vindictive defiance, or toxic noncompliance. If you're feeling any of this, lean into the natural Venusian love and grace, fairness, and diplomacy that will be at your fingertips and available in ample measure. This is a distinct possibility because Venus is opposing the North Node on the 4th. The North Node, or Rahu, the head of the dragon, is also a mixed bundle of blessings and challenges by his very nature. The North Node reflects both the positive qualities relevant to our futures and our life trajectories, as well as the excesses and vices we experience along the way in our perfectly imperfect human journeys. Matters of aesthetics, relationships, and finances are likely to run into a wall in some respect or generate some harsh experience. Be careful about any arrangements pertaining to the future, especially if they involve your financial security, money, aesthetics like your appearance, or your relationships. Friday and Saturday of that first week in September, we have three more tricky transits. Lilith assumes the opposition point with the North Node on the 6th. Many of the same considerations about the Venus opposition apply here, but be especially careful about the Black Moon Lilith downsides, feelings of rejection, alienation, victimization, spite, resentment, vindictiveness, etc. Additionally, as Mercury squares Uranus on the same day, the 6th, we really want to be careful about our language, about outbursts, explosive anger, as well as accidents. Mercury and Uranus are the two electronics and electromagnetic planets. They rule writing, speaking, communication, networks, and things like community, the web, and social media. Having said that, Mercury square Uranus can be quite empowering and generate tremendous insights, epiphanies, flashes of genius, and brilliant new ideas. So here again, we have another power transit with equivocal potentials. We're only 6 days into the month, and we have 3 days of mixed high potential energy transits. Choose the right high potential set by being mindful and aware of the nature of these potent energies. On the 7th, the Virgo sun opposes our retrograding Piscean Saturn. That's at 9:34 p.m., 16 degrees Virgo Pisces. We can expect some challenges or roadblocks relating to our daily routines, work, employment, health, diet, nutrition, or fitness in a 4 to 5 day window around the 7th. We might feel strongly motivated to make some improvements relating to those Virgo matters, but come to a realization that more effort or discipline than we anticipated is going to be necessary, or something else is holding us back or constraining us. We'll want to remember that Saturn wants to improve us, but usually demands discipline in some respect. Be patient. Virgo's ruler Mercury will enter the picture the following day, up leveling our thinking, communication, organization, planning, budgeting, and analytical skills. And 3 days later, on the 11th, Mercury exits his retrograde post shadow and sextiles Mars in Cancer, further reinforcing his mental powers. This is a real mercurial boost with these three aspects happening all in one day. Even better, perhaps, we have big boosts in Jupiterian energy on the way. The day after Mercury gets his Martian boost, on the 12th, the Sun squares Jupiter. Our vitality and outlook will be amplified for a few days. This is generally quite good, but the square aspect can mean excess or even some conflict relating to our desires and forward momentum on one hand, and opportunity, expansion, or abundance on the other. We could be overwhelmed with ideas or feel overburdened by options on how to proceed. These are likely to connect with the Virgo concerns we just discussed, or Gemini matters such as communication, day-to-day travel, our neighbors, and siblings. 2 days later, on the 14th, Venus trines Jupiter. This is the most auspicious aspect there is in astrology with the two most benefic planets. It's wonderful for love, beauty, money, sensuality, romance, relationships, opportunity, abundance, expansion, and optimism. It happens a few times each year. As I said, Venus is uplifted in justice-minded, fair, diplomatic Libra, and Jupiter in mental, vocal, playful, adaptive, lively Gemini is joyful and abundant in its communication and thinking capacities. It's a tremendous day for legal matters, negotiations, settlements, mediations, and so on. And it's wonderful for entertaining, socializing, for romance, for public speaking, or broadcasting. So that wraps up part one of my general astrology overview for September 2024. Part two will cover the magical 1717 super manifestation Piscean full moon lunar eclipse and a busy fall equinox period that culminates with a Libra new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd. Remember, your spiritual journey is up leveling you even when you can't see it. If you need to know how to discover where your houses fall within your natal chart, you can visit any search engine site and type free natal astrology chart. You'll have to key in your birthday and time if you know it, and your place of birth. I recommend choosing the Placidus or whole sign house system. If given a choice, I'd start with tropical Western astrology rather than Vedic or sidereal. Or you can visit my site listed in the description below if you'd like your chart prepared by a professional astrologer. If you're interested in being a part of the Gate of the Firehorse community, please visit my website. The Gate of the Firehorse is a fastly approaching epic configuration crystallizing in the outer reaches of our solar system by 4 super potent, radically transformative, and magical planets. Please see my video introduction to Project 17 if you wish to experience the first Gate of the Firehorse project in the portfolio. And be sure to do that a few days before the fantastically magical Piscean full moon lunar eclipse on September 17 this year. If you're interested in my fusion martial arts choreo energetic practice Hung Chi, see my website where you can learn all the basic postures and passes for the zodiac, the planets, key transits, and other astro features. Hung Chi is a subtle, energetic, spiritual, holistic, Aquarian group art form. This video has provided some broad and generalized astrological advice. If you'd like customized and focused advice about a particular event or undertaking, contact me using the information below and you can place an order on my site. In addition to natal chart and electional chart services, I also provide Sophianic spirituality, higher self activations, and general consultations for spirituality, health and wellness, and career. You can also schedule time for a one-to-one consultation with me directly on my site. If you're in the Los Angeles area, please take a look at the online group I organize, Los Angeles Shamanism Meetup Group. Last but not least, if you're interested in participating in a Sophia Circle journey, I'm a certified Sophia Circle journey leader who conducts both live in the LA area and online virtual circles. Instructions for joining can be found on my site on the services page. Thank you again for spending your time with me today. Ra-El Bo.